Welcome to Sakshi TV's special immigration show with attorney Dr. Srinivas Kaveti from Kaveti Law Firms. Dr. Srinivas Kaveti is an international lawyer, and Kaveti Law Firms needs no introduction. But if you need any kind of legal advice, please contact the attorney directly or log on to their website shri@kavetilaw.com. Please tune in to ask your questions. If you're an immigration attorney and would like to join us on our special show, email us at usa@sakshi.com or call 866-725-7441. Before we begin the show, please note that the information provided on this show is not a legal advice and for general information purposes only. Sakshi TV or its agents are not responsible for any use of the information. Without any further delay, let's welcome Dr. Srinivas Kaveti Garu onto our show. Hello, Kaveti Garu. How are you doing?
Hello, Charity. Fine, good. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you back on our show, Kaveti Garu. We missed you last week.
I know. Thank you. I was busy with some clients. Sorry.
Before we get on to the topic, can you just brief us a little bit about the topic? Like, what exactly are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, I think because spring is coming and it's going to be summer also in India and America, most of the times people look at coming to America during this time. And in terms, because they want to visit for holidays, they want to come for business, and most importantly, a lot of students now they're planning to join in 11th and 12th in America, or even a bachelor's degree in America. So parents are coming to check out to come and get them admitted in schools. And if somebody wants to do a bachelor's also, they're visiting a lot of universities. This is the time they have a lot of open, this thing for the universities. You can go on an open show and look at the university, get to know the information. That's the reason a lot of people visit now. This is the time. So I thought it will be a wise thing to do a show on a tourist visa or a business visa. And if you look at India now, it's emerging to be a superpower in terms of business. So and a lot of people are also calling us. They want to set up a company because you see a lot of advertisements online that you can set up a company in Singapore by sitting in India. You can set up a company in Dubai. And they're also seeing a lot of advertisements that you can set up a company in Delaware in America and do the business. So I thought it would be a wise thing to do a show on a visitor visa, which is a B2, and B1 visa is a business visa. So how to get a business visa, what are the requirements? If they come, what they can do and what they cannot do, what are the documents, all those 9 yards. So that's what I thought it would be a wise thing to do. And the other thing is this Friday, the H-1B registrations are coming to an end. I'm sure a lot of people have contacted all the employers so that they have, filed their registrations, and not multiple, but one or two. So, the rush is coming down. We had some calls today also, and by Friday will be the last day for the H-1B registrations. And I'm sure from the last year experience, people have stopped filing multiple applications. So I thought it will be a wise thing to do on business visas and tourist visas.
Okay, so let's start with what exactly is business visa?
Well, if you see America, this is it's a capitalistic society. This country runs by doing businesses. And if you see many companies, a lot of companies which are running businesses in America, they're all outsiders. For example, if you see 7-Eleven in America, the owners are in Japan. If you see Sanyo, they're all in Japan. And if you see car companies, they're in Korea. So the headquarters are all in overseas. They come and set up a business in America, and they become big giants. And they bring people to work to America, and they also the CEOs come and they come here, CFOs, chief technical officers, chief operating officers. They come with their families, and eventually their families will get work authorization and children can go to school. And that's a business visa. They come to America on B1. The things what they can do, they can attend meetings, and they can also talk to lawyers, hire lawyers. They can hire some CPAs to incorporate a company, but they cannot work here legally. They can come and solicit business, some meetings. And B2 visa is a tourist visa where they come here, and it is normally issued for 6 months, sometimes 1 year, or even 10 years, discretion of the consulate. Then you go to the consular affairs. So B2 visa, when they come to America, they come and visit friends, family. They go and visit tourist destinations like Florida, California, Niagara Falls, New York, things like that. And they can also visit friends and family. The good thing about B2 visa is they will they can change the status. They can take get admission in schools after 60 days if they want to study, and if they want to go around, they can go around, do some research. If they want to stay 6 months, they can stay 6 months. If they want to extend their visa, they can also do that. But you have to follow the law. So the requirements for B1 visa and B2 visa, the first thing is you need to have a passport, and you pay the fees to the consulate, and you have to have some ties with your home country. And if you're in a business, you have to show your business documents. If you have some tax returns, you show your tax returns. And ties with your home country, like if you have a family or children or some family ties. And, there are other factors if you're a taxpayer or if you're a government employee, some ties with your home country, that you're coming to America for a temporary purposes. And after that, you're going back. That means you should have enough funds to show that you're coming to America to travel, go around and go back. Because mostly what happens, these agents from India, they do, but they don't tell all these things, because when you come into United States, there is another interview by the border security force. Then most of the times when they come to US on a visit, they're not bringing money. And when the officer asks how much you're bringing, they'll say $500, $1,000. You cannot come and say that you're bringing 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees to travel in America. You should bring substantial amount. So these are the things one has to keep in mind for B1 and B2. And that when you can come any number of times, because if you've been given 10 years visa, you can visit America as many times as you want. But the border security guys will determine how many days you can stay in the country. Unfortunately, there's a misnomer. A lot of people think that, oh, I was given 10 years visa, so can I come and stay in America for 10 years? No, no. In 10 years, you can visit America multiple times. But the border security officer, the immigration customs enforcement officer, he writes how many months you can stay in the country. That is called I-94. They will allow you to stay sometimes 6 months, 3 months, 6 months. And within that time, you have to return back to the country. That is B1, B2.
Who all are eligible for this business visas, Kaveti garu?
Anybody who has a business whose interest is that they want to come and do business in America, and sometimes people who are already in the business and who have businesses, or sometimes when you want to start a new business also. As I said to you initially, because America is a capitalistic society and it's enterprising society. Anybody who comes, say they want you to come and, they welcome foreigners to come and set up a company, open a business, invest money, buy real estate, generate employment. A lot of companies, the foreign companies are in America, and the economy runs by these foreign corporations. People coming from Japan, Korea, a lot of Asia, China, many, many countries. Because if you see IT consulting companies, if you see Tata Consulting, Mahindra Tech, and Cognizant Technology, there are so many technology companies. They are not from America, but they are from India. They come and do business in America. So they encourage technology business, whatever the business. Even solar companies have started coming from India. A lot of companies from China, they're coming. I mean, all over the world, they come to America to do business. They encourage businessmen because when they come, number one, they pay taxes. Number two, they generate employment and they make a better society. And it's a boiling point. You know, every country people, cultured people, they come, even restaurant business, sports business, you name it. I mean, even colleges, universities, different education. And I mean, if you see, they even started Sanskrit schools and they're starting Telugu medium schools, Telugu schools, and they're starting Vedic schools and Ayurvedic schools. I mean, if you take like that, they're also encouraging foreign medicine also to come and set up in America. If you see Chinese, there are a lot of Chinese, they come and set up their own universities in America. And if you see universities from Europe, they come. So there's no end to it. So they encourage businesses, they come and set up in America. So businessmen, they come. Some people are, fashion people, they come. Movie industry, they come. And the sportsmen, they come. And the musicians, they come. I mean, different walks of life. Those who want to do some research. For example, if you see COVID research or any medical research is done in America, if you see a lot of scientists, they come from overseas and they settle in America, and by doing some research in medical medicine, they encourage. So from all walks of life, when you come into United States, if you're a postdoctorate or a doctorate, if you have some inventions, they encourage you to come and stay in the country. So people from different walks of life, they come to America. One, they take extraordinary ability people, and if you're doing something on the national interest, and they allow them to come to America. If you see the examples of WhatsApp, it was programmed by a European man, and even just like what we have in India, Ola, we have Uber in America. The Uber company was started by a European man. He didn't have a car, so he came and made an app. So today that is a world famous company. I mean, if you see Facebook, that was started by two Europeans and one Bangladeshi boy, Kareem. So today you see that's a Facebook. So things like that. There's so many companies. The foreigners, they come and set up and they make it big. So this country encourages everybody.
So, what all documents do they need to submit, even if it's for a startup or already established company?
But most of the times, when you go to the embassies are looking at what is the revenue you're making, your tax returns, company and corporation documents, and how many employees you have. What are the revenues you have? Are you the CEO? What is your job position? Why are you coming to America? What is the reason? If they want to see whether this company, are they coming to set up something in America? If you see example, a solar company in India, a lot of solar companies of India and China also came and set up in America. If you see sustainable development in all of in the world, United Nations are also saying, and solar companies, they want to go on alternate energy for green revolution. These are the industries they're encouraging to come and set up in America. So things like that, and even car manufacturers. If you see our Tata company, they have acquired a company in England. Range Rover is acquired by Tata. And if you see, things like that, even IT consulting companies, the lot of IT consulting companies from India, they come here, they do the apps, they encourage IT companies. And if you keep on going like that, there are different types of businesses they encourage to come and set up here. So they want to see whether it's not that some obsolete business you're trying to come to America. So there are a lot of, if you see artificial intelligence in the world, and now it's a very big thing even in India and in Japan and in Europe. So if you're coming, even IITs are doing a lot of artificial intelligence research. If you're coming to America to set up some artificial intelligence company and you're bringing some technology know-how, they are welcoming. It's not that you're coming from a third world country or anything. They will see what you're bringing to America. So those type of things will be encouraged. And if you're going to the embassy and your business cannot be, for example, I'll give you an example. If you're manufacturing some fireworks in Shivakasi, you can't come and set up a fireworks company in America because it's a restricted item. So things like that. It's an example I'm giving you. So if you're coming on technology or artificial intelligence, or in a lot of technology based to cryptocurrency and those things, they will encourage.
Do business visas have any permanent thing? Permanent business visas are available in US?
There is no permanent business visas. Normally, they are given for 6 months to 1 year for 10 years. And if these guys are coming, because what they normally do, the counselors, either they will give you B1 oblique B2. For example, when you're coming on a business trip at the port of entry, they will ask you for what purpose you're coming. Then you say that I'm coming for business purposes. The officer will give you a B1 visa. And if you say at the port of entry that you're coming to visit some family, you're coming to visit to tourism purposes, or you're coming for Christmas, or you're coming for New Year celebrations, they'll give you a B2. So the officer determines. And they might ask you how much of money you're carrying. Do you have a return ticket? Stuff like that. But you have to satisfy the officers at the port of entry. So your purpose you determine. So they normally give B1 oblique B2.
Kaveti garu, in the recent times, we are seeing that there are a lot of money laundering issues going on. So, what are different types of policies regarding the money laundering?
See, it's an excellent area you picked up, Nitya. Money laundering is an international crime now. If you see after September incident in America, they have come up with a law called Patriotic Act. And even United Nations and a lot of international, I mean, there's a big, conventions and treaties between the countries that after September incident in America, even England or India, a lot of countries, democratic countries, I would say common law countries, they came together and they are fighting as against terrorism. And how? Because at the end of the day, this terrorism, you need money. Where they are getting this money? So the laundering of money, that means who is pumping the money from black market, or who is pumping the money from illegal resources. So they are curtailing all of that. If you see now recent case in Telangana, the chief minister's daughter has been arrested under money laundering charges. And even in America, a lot of big time politicians and their businessmen getting arrested. Recently, we got our firm got a call from Texas. Some IT companies owners have been arrested in America for money laundering. First of all, one need to understand what is money laundering. Launder means you're exchanging the money or sending money. A bad money is being converted into a good money. That is called laundering of money, which is a financial crime. It's an international crime. And in America, it's a felony. People can end up in jail for 10 years to 15 years. Same as in India, same as in England. Even in England also has a financial regulatory authority. And even in Europe, they have financial regulatory authorities. And if you're sending money from bad resource, like for example, some people make money in southern parts of America by selling drugs. If you take Colombia, there's a lot of drug cartels. So they have all these dollars. So when they deposit and send money to America in a rightful source, and this black money becomes a white money, that is called a money laundering. So these days, students are also getting involved, engaged, and even IT companies are doing that. And even politicians, they do that in India. I mean, every third world country, a lot of money laundering. For example, if you see that how these politicians are funding elections in third world countries. For example, if you're an MLA or MP, your salary is only 1.5 lakh rupees. But if you see recent arrest in Telangana, that Kavita, she's only an MLC. I mean, it's not, I mean, she only gets 1.5 lakh rupees salary. How did she pay 100 crores to Delhi CM? So the money they're asking, where did you get this money? And they want to know where this money came from. Who gave this money? Which party gave? Which individual gave? Which businessman gave? That's what they want to know. That is called money laundering. So the money laundering offenses are very strict in America. These are felonies. Anybody can report this to the financial regulated authorities, and people will end up in jail for 5 to 10 years. These are very strict offenses in America or England or even in Europe or even in the world, because the United Nations want to curb the money which has been laundered for terrorism in the past. So all these terrorists, they get money. So where do they get money from? So that's what it is.
And what is AML and what is the history of AML?
You mean to say anti-money laundering
Yeah.
legislation? Yeah, I mean, if anybody reports, you will be charged under that legislation. Like if you take India, it's called Prevention of Corruption Act and anti-money laundering legislations. Every country has their own. So, especially if you see the world, United Nations, there are some countries which are not members, and they don't come under those jurisdiction and under the radar. If you see some Islamic countries, they don't come under because they're not party to a treaty. If you see Europe, if you see some of the South American countries, they don't come under the treaties. And when they don't come under the treaties, the enforcement will be very less. But unfortunately, if you see, even in India, ICICI Bank chairman, she was also involved in money laundering offenses. So people in all over the world, they get involved, and you can also report anonymous. And this is called a whistleblower law. Even in India and America, there is a legislation called a whistleblower law. What does it mean? You can give a tip to the enforcement agencies without giving your name. So, anybody, any individual can give a complaint to law enforcement agencies. They will start investigation. So, I mean, we are getting a lot of calls of and a lot of students are getting arrested in money laundering offenses in America. Even IT companies are engaged in that. They're getting arrested. And a lot of international companies, they do money laundering, and the CEOs get arrested, and the companies get, blacklisted. And the government, what they do, they will confiscate the money. They will penalize and they will confiscate the properties, and they will imprison the owners or promoters or even officers, CFOs, chartered accountants, and managing directors. They all will be liable for punishment in money laundering offenses.
What uses offshore financial centers for money laundering, Kaveti?
See, if you see, there are some countries in the earth, they have these holidays, tax holidays. If you see recently, Mauritius was engaged in such type of crimes, and now many countries have blacklisted them. And there are many countries in South America also. They have tax haven holidays. If you see Panama Canal, and in South America and North America, there's a canal in between South and North America. Panama Canal also is a tax haven. So what they say, because they're not treaty partner to the international community, they also encourage such companies, and they say that you can park the money there. These are tax haven companies, and they don't comply with the international regime. So, I mean, it's a very complex area. We will not be able to address a lot of issues in this small 15 minutes show. And it's a very specialized area too.
What is a money laundering offense and what are proceeds of crime, Kaveti?
Good, excellent question. Proceeds of crime means, for example, you're selling drugs or you're selling some restricted items, controlled substance. The money which comes is it's called money from the crime. And money laundering is you made that money, right? Let's say you sold some drugs. Let's say some drug cartels in let's say in Colombia country, and all these drug cartels, when they make money, the trading is done in US dollars. So these US dollars you can go and invest in federal bonds in America. So you're making that money. It's a crime money, but you're investing that money in America to buy federal bonds. So when you buy these federal bonds, tomorrow this money, black money, becomes white money. So that is called laundering. And the money which you made out of selling the drugs is called, bad money. The money which is a crime money, proceeds of crime. That is a distinction.
Okay.
And sometimes people are also involved in human trafficking. These days, when you see a lot of IT companies are engaged in labor trafficking, they do H1s, multiple H1s. That is a labor trafficking. They're also taking money. They're also some people are engaged in human trafficking. They bring people to America and leave them. Especially if you see from Gujarat and Punjab, the agents, they bring people, they drop them here, and they charge 50 lakhs to 100 lakhs. And that's a bad money from the crime. And they're engaged in human trafficking. So, a lot of offenses are there, and, governments are trying to curtail these things. It's a very complex subject, but all over the world, people are engaged in this. They're trying to menace all these things by certain strict rules and regulations.
Okay, Kaveti garu, looks like we covered most of the topic. But then before we end the show, are there any new immigration updates that we're supposed to know?
Well, I guess for the H1B guys, they can't have multiple applications, and it's coming to an end on Friday. And next month, they will open the registrations. And that's one thing, I guess. And of course, I mean, there are so many updates every time, and they're also increasing the fees now from April. That is another news. Immigration is increasing a lot of fees on different applications. That is an update. And in terms of enforcement, also, the immigration is saying that if anybody commits any offense, they will be charged on a federal crimes. Before it was an administrative violations. Now they're converting them into federal crimes. That means imprisonment, and you will end up in jails for 5 to 10 years. So they're stringenting that, they're making stringent laws for immigration crimes.
Okay. It was lovely having you on our show, Kaveti garu. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you
Thank you,
very much.
viewers, for tuning in. You're watching Sakshi TV with me, Nitya, signing off.